We often think of empires being built by soldiers, generals, and kings. But what if I told you the British Empire, one of the largest in history, was built on the back of a single Indian moneylender? This is the story of the man who financed an empire, only to be erased from the very history he helped create. Imagine the 18th century. The British East India Company is a struggling enterprise, just one of many European powers, vying for a piece of the incredibly wealthy Indian subcontinent. They had ships and soldiers, sure, but they were desperately short on one crucial resource: cash. India at this time wasn't some backwater. It was a global economic powerhouse, responsible for nearly a quarter of the world's GDP. The British were small players in a very big game, and their ambitions far outstripped their wallets. They needed money, and a lot of it, to pay their soldiers, bribe local officials, and fund their military campaigns. Without a constant flow of capital, their Indian adventure would have ended before it truly began. How could a mere trading company possibly hope to conquer a land so vast and rich? They needed an inside man, someone with deep pockets and even deeper connections. Enter Jagat Seth, a name that once commanded more respect than a king's. Jagat Seth wasn't a person, but a title, meaning banker of the world. The family holding this title ran a financial empire stretching from Bengal to Delhi. They were the Rothschilds of India, so wealthy that their fortune was said to be greater than the entire Bank of England. They minted coins for the Mughal emperors, managed the revenue of entire provinces, and their credit notes were honored across the continent. When the British East India Company needed money, it wasn't London, they turned to but the grand banking house of the Jagat Seths. In the city of Murshidabad, the Seths became the company's primary financiers, bankrolling their expansion and essentially funding their own future colonization. For the British, this was a golden ticket. For the Jagat Seths, it was just another business deal, or so they thought. The relationship was symbiotic. For a while, the British gained access to unimaginable credit, and the Jagat Seths profited from the interest. But the British weren't just traders, they were empire builders. Their ambition led them to meddle in local politics, culminating in the pivotal Battle of Plassey in 1757. This wasn't just a battle of armies, it was a battle of betrayals, orchestrated behind the scenes. Robert Clive, the ambitious leader of the British forces, knew he couldn't win on military strength alone. He needed to fracture the opposition from within. His target was the Nawab of Bengal. Clive secretly conspired with the Nawab's own general, Mir Jafar, and the most powerful financial backers in the land, the Jagat Seths. Why would the Seths betray their own ruler? The Nawab had threatened their business and their influence. They believed that by backing the British, they were simply swapping one ruler for another, more predictable one, securing their financial interests in the process. They agreed to fund Clive's conspiracy, a decision that would seal the fate of India. The Battle of Plassey was a farce. So what happened to the Jagat Seths, the kingmakers who made it all possible? Their fate is the most tragic part of this story. After helping the British seize power, they found themselves obsolete. The British no longer needed a banker. They had become the bank. The new puppet, Nawab Mir Qasim, who replaced Mir Jafar, saw the Seths as a threat and had the heads of the family murdered in 1763. The British, their former business partners, did nothing to stop it. With their leaders gone, the great banking house of Jagat Seth crumbled into obscurity. They had financed their own obsolescence, bankrolling the very power that would lead to their demise in the colonization of their homeland. Their name, once synonymous with wealth and power, was systematically erased from the history books. The story of the Jagat Seths is a powerful reminder that empires aren't just built on battlefields. They are built in boardrooms, in back-alley deals, and on the balance sheets of bankers. The British Empire owed its existence not just to its generals and governors, but to the Indian financiers who, in a fatal miscalculation, funded their own subjugation. It's a hidden history of wealth, power, and betrayal that shaped the modern world in ways we are only now beginning to understand. The banker of the world was dethroned, and in his place, a new global empire rose from the ashes of his ambition. Thank you so much for watching. If you found this hidden piece of history as fascinating as I did, please hit that like button and subscribe for more stories that change the way you see the world. Let me know in the comments what you think. See you in the next video.